Hello and welcome to another episode of Stinker Madness. I'm Justin.
I'm Sam.
I'm Jackie.
Oh, well that was kind of cute. It was kind of like the Osmonds right there. It was very charming. This is the main main premiere episode of Stinker Madness for the week. We just got done viewing Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. A mulleted Chuck Norris.
Bearded and mulleted.
Bearded, mulleted, shirtless,
Denim wearing
Chuck Norris.
I don't know, but it might be the first bearded Norris.
You think?
It might be. I can't say for certain.
You know,
I'd have to go back to my house and look through because I've got pretty much his entire catalog, with the exception of A Force of One and An Eye for an Eye, because An Eye for an Eye has not been re-released in its original format yet. I've been waiting about 10 years for that.
All right. So, what did you guys think?
Well, I have seen it like 5 times. It's a silly movie.
It's very silly.
Oh my god, I fell asleep.
Yeah, Jackie fell asleep in it, unfortunately.
95% of the way made it, and then fell asleep.
You fell asleep at the very end?
Yes, I was like fighting it, and I kept opening my eyes, and I'm like, okay, and he's killing more people. Okay.
And that's basically what happens.
There's the burn guy / villain. And then I open my eyes at the very end, and he's got 2 guns pointed at the screen, and then credits.
No, he had the rocket launcher.
Yeah, he shot. They had a rocket. You missed the rocket launcher Old West shootout.
Yeah. The Mexican standoff, sort of, kind of.
It was a grenade launcher duel.
Yeah.
Which, if you ever have to have a grenade launcher duel, I guess you should do it just like they did in a very enclosed office hallway.
How do you know that that's a grenade launcher instead of a rocket launcher?
I know it is. I think it was a rocket launcher. Actually, it was an RPG.
Kind of.
Not really. Norris's was. That was actually the slide-out RPG.
I thought the RPGs were the things he screwed on at the end that the terrorists shot down helicopters with.
Maybe that is an RPG.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the
it's
key
a rocket-propelled grenade.
True.
Of this movie was, it's time to die.
Yeah, it's time to die. Really? When? You keep saying that. You should never kill the guy.
Yeah, he blows him up real nice.
Until the very, very
end. You notice at the end when he blows him up that they slow-mode, and there was intentional, like, it wasn't just explosion out of a window, but there was like a head and a foot.
Yes, right.
There was body parts in the explosion, so that you could...
That was dramatic.
Visually verified that Rostov
he is 100% lunch meat.
Yeah, he's in pieces.
There's bits of him on the street. You can verify it. There will be no sequel because you now have proof. Actually, you said there is a sequel. But he's not in it. Rostov
is not in the sequel. Yeah, no, the Matt Hunter character is once again brought back, but with Michael Dudikoff instead. Who apparently they put Steve James in that movie too.
I don't know who Steve James is.
He's the black guy in American Ninja.
Huh.
Like, the American Ninja isn't really just Dudikoff, it's Dudikoff and Steve James. They're like a team of karate guys. And oddly enough, Steve James is in a Delta Force with Chuck Norris as well.
There you go. Meanwhile, Jackie's still falling asleep. She just can't stay awake. Really?
Well,
that's just good radio. It's just...
Well, the best part... Okay, I had like 3 really good things that I liked about this movie. Okay, so the first one was the first villain scene, or actually, it's like the second villain scene, but when he's in there trying to sell the cocaine, and and this lady's sitting there with this, like, piece of metal pipe, sniffing up the cocaine.
Straw or something. It
looked like it was metal.
And he shoved her head into it, so she comes up, she's got the cocaine straw stuck in her nose, and then he shoots the guy, the other guy that's in the room with him, in the dick.
The amazing thing about that whole scene was it seriously went from 0 to 60 in like half a second.
That's the thing.
This scene's really boring. Holy crap!
That's the thing with Invasion USA, is that every sequence is like it just goes stagnant, and then all of a sudden dialed it back to 11. There's no
guys
medium
getting shot
pacing.
In the wieners. He's throwing women out the window and blasts all the guards. That was a crazy scene, and that was the only scene that Billy Drago was in.
And he got top billing. He was the fourth name in there.
Yeah, and he was in it for 3 minutes.
And you know what was really weird is what the fuck was the point of that?
I don't know.
He finds the drugs. And then he tries to sell the drugs, but then he doesn't take the drugs when he takes off.
Yeah, he's like...
Because you would expect him to
shake
kill
hands.
them, take the money and the drugs, and he doesn't take anything.
He just shoots everybody and is like, well, I guess I'll leave now.
He just shows up.
You just shot your source. You can no longer sell drugs to that guy anymore. And you didn't even want the money.
You just wanted to shoot him in the drugs to begin with?
Do you
what? And why are you invading the USA?
So
that never gets answered.
Okay,
no,
we have to stop. Go ahead with your other 2 items, and then we're gonna break it down.
Okay, so the next thing that I really liked is that there was a pet armadillo.
Yes, the armadillo.
Armadillo is awesome.
It is really unfortunate that there wasn't more armadillo. I needed more armadillo.
Yeah,
I liked that when he
Chuck Norris's character Hunter, Mr. Hunter, has a pet.
He's no Mister.
Has a pet armadillo in his shantytown.
Yeah, but he's only in the beginning. He's just only in the beginning.
And he's so cool.
And then he's probably actually gator food right after you see him last, because Chuck Norris just abandons him.
Yeah, you don't see him ever again.
That Dillo's not going to survive in the Everglades.
Well, I mean, you immediately assume that the Dillo doesn't make it through the explosion.
Right.
But then you see him, you're like, oh, he made it.
He's alright, hooray. Oh, he's gator food.
Or something.
He doesn't, yeah. Lastly?
The last thing is that Chuck Norris is completely calm throughout this whole movie. Every time he's kicking ass, right? He's always there. But my favorite one is when he's trying to find burn victim evil man. And
Rostov.
And he's in a bar, and this guy's like giving him shit, and this dude's like drinking a beer with like this glass bottled beer, and Chuck Norris just grabs his hand, squeezes it really hard, and makes the guy break his own beer bottle in his own hand. And then the guy's like, and Chuck Norris is like, yeah, fuck you. And then just walks off to wherever the hell he was going anyway.
Here's the funny thing is when you handed us the DVD yesterday, and I looked at the cover, I'm like, he's holding 2 guns and pulling the trigger, and he has seriously no emotion on his face. None at all. Like, everybody's dying, but I don't care. And that's how he was through the whole movie. Like,
it's one of
calm as shit. Like, deadpan.
Because posters are usually not all the way on. The poster for Invasion USA is a 100%
except for
dead on balls.
The Capitol building is in it.
Oh, there's a Capitol building.
Yeah, there's a Capitol building. Oh,
there's
no Capitol building in the movie.
So it's just like any other one.
So let's try to make sense of this thing. Maybe we can retroly figure it out. The movie starts out with a boat full of Cubans trying to escape in Florida. Then they get stopped by like a patrol boat of Coast Guard guys. It's supposed to be
the Coast Guard.
And they're like, "Welcome to America," and everybody starts cheering, and then they blast the shit out of them.
Just a bunch of refugees.
Yeah, just all of the. There's like 30 people on this boat, and they all get shot.
Yeah,
women, children, we don't care. By burn victim man.
Burn victim man is there.
And one guy that has glasses who throughout the movie just can't stop shooting.
Can't stop shooting. Stop shooting. They even say stop shooting, and he's like, I can't stop shooting.
And he has to get out, 50 more rounds than everybody else every goddamn time.
So they open up something like a little secret area on the Cuban people ship, and there's coke, like
bunch of it,
all of the fucking coke. There's like so much coke. There's no way these guys would be refugees. Like, our life is so hard. No, you have all of the coke. You are a drug lord. So the Rostov guy steals the coke, and then there's like a scene where he's like giving it to somebody.
So they do that. Then you just see Norris fanboating.
Oh yeah.
Then you go to that night where the FBI has found the original crew of the U.S. Coast Guard boat who has been killed and their uniforms taken, so that
pantless men, dead men.
Yes,
just a pile of shot up.
There's really one
no pants dudes
in the shot. There's like everybody's laying on each other. They're obviously real people in white t-shirts and white tight underwear, and they're laying on all each other, and they're kind of keeping their hands to themselves, except for this one guy has a hand on a big fat ass, and it's just great. Like, what? He's just getting, like, cameras on, I'm grabbing another dude's ass.
Could you imagine, like
being the guy that's getting molested?
You're an extra, and you're at the bottom of the pile. Yeah. And you're like, do I really have to be the shut up, extra. You just do your damn job or you're not getting any paycheck. And then all of a sudden, the guy that's got his hand on another man's ass pops a boner. Oh. And you're underneath him. Cut! Nope, you're an extra. You don't say cut. We gotta get this shot right. Quit talking. But, shut up.
Yeah, no, that's great. So anyway, they see the FBI has got it figured out that the Coast Guard has been waxed for whatever purpose.
They do? I didn't get that.
Huh. No, they're like, these are Coast Guard guys, they're dead.
No, because Rostov was there talking to the guy.
Like, Rostov was not there. No, the FBI, there's 3 FBI guys that show up periodically, and they're like, who's been in there? The Coast Guard brass, some police, and a reporter. And then you meet the reporter who barely serves any purpose.
Shitty April O'Neil.
Who apparently was supposed to be Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopsie Goldberg was supposed to be in there.
Norris wanted Whoopi Goldberg, and Zito told him to fuck off or something.
That was probably a good call, even though shitty April O'Neil wasn't much better. But so they get the coke.
So you're going too fast, because then you see Norris in the alligator catching alligators.
Catching alligator, yeah.
Native
Norris,
American
but all you need to know is that
Eagle John.
John Eagle, yeah.
Norris has a buddy named John Eagle, and they live in the Everglades. That's all that provides.
And John Eagle evades his taxes.
Yes, he does not pay taxes. Or something.
Or he's collecting Social Security, but still moonlighting as a guy who does whatever.
Fan boats. Airboat rentals.
Airboat rentals. He has a restaurant. He captures and sells alligators.
Yeah.
You could almost make a movie about John Eagle.
You actually could. That guy was awesome.
Yeah. And he did shoot somebody before they got
he shot like 3 guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
with a shotgun.
From quite a distance. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a nice job.
But I guess, yes, the next thing that, like, plot-related would be Rostov.
And the Billy Drago.
In the Billy Drago sequence.
So he goes and sells the coke.
And you think that he must be selling the coke to fund the terrorism? Like, I mean... You
don't even know he's a terrorist at that point.
You don't, but, like, having seen the movie, you would then think, well, he must have been selling the stolen drugs to fund terrorism, but he doesn't take any money. He doesn't do anything.
He just kills Billy Drago, shoots him in the dick, and then throws the lady out the window.
Talks to his buddy Nico, who's... like the worst Nico ever.
Yeah,
like, he's supposed to be Russian. He's not Russian at all.
Hey, speaking of which, I kept asking during this movie, are the bad guys Russian, German?
We don't know.
What the hell's going on here?
My running joke is when they finally invade that it's Florida has been being invaded by New Jersey. Because that's what it looks like.
The most diverse group of a single invasion people that I've ever seen. There was Mexicans, there were some Asian guys in the invasion force, there was...
In the bar scene, Norris is talking to the other bearded guy, and the bearded guy makes an illusion, and this is something, because I've always thought, why are these guys just like, whatever guys? He says something about him being pro, so, like, having seen it 5 times now...
So they're just
you
mercs?
Are meant to be... These are all mercs.
They're just mercs.
They're just mercs.
So that's... Oh, God damn it. So there's no money. He can't pay for them. And they don't have any vested interest in this invading the suburbs.
The phone call between Nico and Rostov when Billy Drago's scene there is implied that they get the money, and then I guess he just leaves the drugs, the small amount of drugs.
Okay, well let's just do them a solid and say that he takes the drugs.
We are to assume
goes and hires some mercs, and eventually they invade the United States, Florida, Miami specifically. But why? Why does he want to... Why?
Yeah, there's no why ever.
Because all of a sudden it's Christmas time and he's just a fucking dick.
So he really is just Scrooge.
He's just a terrorist. Like, he's just
Grinch.
Terrorizing for purposes of terrorism.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to stuff the tree up in one scene.
Stuff the tree up.
Just go over and cut the Christmas tree down to these people's yard and just shove it into his car, like, take that, I'm the Grinch, and then I'm going to blow your house up with a grenade launcher.
Yeah, because you don't really expect him when he first shows up to blow up every fucking house on the street, which is what happens.
That's his first tactic, is they invade, storm the breach, they kill a couple teenagers who are making out, and then...
Get into milk trucks.
They get into milk trucks and drive to, like... the most pleasant street you could possibly imagine in some suburb and blow the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like, just shoot the hell out of it with one rocket launcher. And the funny thing is that, like, the buddy, what the hell was
Nico.
Nico. He's like, I'll do it. I'll blow this place up. And Rostov is like, no, I think I would like to blow this place up. Can I have that rocket launcher? And then...
The Nico guy just kind of stands there, arms at his sides.
Yeah, and just,
while, like,
they blow up like 6
job.
houses while it's Christmas time. And so that's their technique for...
But the moral of the story is don't buy your house next to a stop sign, because in this movie, all the houses that got hit were right next to a stop sign.
That is true. That is true. It was really weird how that was set up. So he blows up Invasion 123 Crestmont Street.
Without breaking any traffic violations, because he was stopped at the stop sign before he took off.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful. Mm. The other... before that, I forgot one of the best lines... Because there is a lot of awesome good lines in this movie, and Norris is talking to John Eagle. He's like, "What do you want to have for dinner? We can have some frogs."
Or he's like, "These ones are live and fresh."
Yeah, here's some frogs. We'll boil them, we'll cook them, we'll barbecue them,
whatever you want. Yeah.
Norris is, God, I'm sick of frogs.
And it's like one of the only believable lines in the movie is like, "Oh man, I bet he has been eating frogs for a long time."
Frog. Like, there's nothing else to eat in.
You're not eating the gators because you got to sell them to people for whatever.
You can't eat
cases.
Can't eat the dillos because they're your pals.
Yeah,
pretty silly. So they invade the suburbs.
Well, that was right, and then Rostov tries to put a hit on Norris, which doesn't work. The armadillo survives as well. John Eagle,
they blow up his house.
They kill John Eagle. John Eagle takes a few with him, and then right after that, they figure, okay, we're in the clear. This Matt Hunter's out of the way.
He's dead.
We can now invade the USA.
He's also been exploded.
Yeah, so we can now invade the USA.
Yeah, we're good. We're good now. We're free and clear for invasion because of this one guy who was basically just minding his own business.
And was going to mind his own business, as he said to who you are supposed to believe is a CIA guy that shows up periodically when it is convenient to the plot of the movie.
Who also had a weird Russian accent.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. It was like, so this guy's like a foreign...
You're talking about the Jodan Baker looking...
No, that's the FBI guy. I'm talking about the guy that goes into his shack at the beginning, and then Norris sort of like comes out of the dark and starts choking him.
Oh, that's right.
He's the CIA guy. The other guys are FBI guys. Huh. And you are to assume that Matt Hunter himself was at one point a CIA operative.
Yeah, you are led to believe. Or maybe he's a merc as well.
No, he says because when that guy comes back at the end for plot convenience, he says the agency will never go for this.
He's got He-Man and Masters of the Universe plot device powers.
Yeah, pretty much. He just shows up when they need to really bridge some gaps. At no point is disbelief suspended in this film.
No, not at all. So, they're free and clear to invade the United States. They do. They blow up the houses. And then their next move was they shoot up the quinceañera.
Oh, yeah. And that's because they were sewing, and that's actually one of the only parts of the movie that actually makes sense. There's motivation there because they're dressed as police.
Right.
And if the police are running around killing people at random, then the citizenry won't trust the police, and then that pays itself off immediately.
People out in the streets, and they're running around, and they're scared, and they're throwing rocks at cop cars, and shitty April O'Neil saw the whole thing go down, and so now the terror has started to take place.
Hold. And it's all happening in Florida, but you are led to believe with news broadcasts that it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, right. So they kill all the people at the quinceañera. Is it quinceañera or quinceañeta?
I think it was just a Cuban dance party, and they only killed about half of them because he wanted the other half to live so that they can hate the police.
You can report this, or tell your friends, or whatever.
Throw rocks at the police that show up like 10 seconds later. The actual police.
The Invasion USA is in full effect, and Chuck now is like, I gotta do something about this. So he goes and sees the Cuban-looking bad guy, and he's in a closet in the back of a bar / brothel.
It looks like a whorehouse. I can't tell.
So the Cuban guy gets a hooker, takes her to the back room, and Norris is in the closet, jumps out, stabs him in the hand.
He's already got a hurt hand too.
Yeah, because he got John Eagle had shot him in the hand.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was that him that got shot in the hand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a movie 5 times. I never put that together.
How long was Chuck Norris in the closet? And
he was.
How did he know to hang out there?
Yeah, he just sort of shows up like.
Throughout the movie, he does that.
He just knows
every magical.
He's got secret. I know where everything is. Powers.
Yeah.
And what's going on and where I need to be.
But that whole scene with the Cuban guy in the hooker hotel room thing, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
And the poor bastard that has the Cadillac that's just trying to wash his car, then the bad mercenary guy shows up, runs over his wash bucket, tells him he's a cocksucker, and then fucking goes inside and tries to bang a hooker. And then Norris is already waiting, laying in wait.
Yeah.
And then the poor guy that was like washing his nice car like comes up, what the fuck is going on here? And then Norris fucking threatens him, so he brings his friend back, and then Norris kicks the shit out of everybody.
He says, specifically, if you come back in here, I'll hit you with so many rights, you're going to beg for a lift.
Yeah, that's Roman's favorite line in the movie. He says it all the time. Awesome. And he also wanders around and just whispers Rostov to me sometimes. I'm just like, stop doing that. Like, he loves this movie so much, it's ridiculous.
So then Chuck throws a grenade into the room with the guy that's got the stabbed hand, and he can't get out. So he's got a live grenade trapped in there with him. So he hucks it out of the window, and it goes straight into the guy's Cadillac.
And all that guy did
the Cadillac
in the whole movie was try to wash his car. And he gets the shit kicked out of him and his car blown up for his trouble.
Just for standing there washing his car. That's what you get, though, for washing your car outside of a brothel / bar thing. I don't know. So now Chuck knows what's going on with the Invasion USA. He's got the info.
He knows that they're going to hit the mall next, basically, is all he knows.
So they go to the mall. There's, like, one of the new henchmen. You've never seen him before. He's got, like, a shopping bag, and it's Christmas time. And there are so many fucking people in this mall. It's just an impossible amount of people. Like, there's so many extras in this movie. It's ridiculous.
And, you know, another example of the movie, like, slowing down to, like, a 2 pace before it goes back up to 11 is that bullshit that happens between the kid and the security guard with the gum.
Guard, there's just...
Like, it doesn't even need to be...
It's not really funny.
And why is the security guard guarding the... Okay, so the security guard is guarding a Nissan truck that's on display.
Yeah.
And the little kid takes out his gum, he stands there for a while, and then he takes out his gum and he throws it and hits it at the windshield. And sticks onto the windshield of this Nissan truck.
Right.
And it's like, what the frick was the point of that?
Nothing. It's
like,
I think it was supposed to be comic relief, like those silly kids and those silly security guards. But it was really just okay. And then so the kid takes off, and
Mr. I Can't Stop Shooting Everybody has a bag in his hand, and he wanders around.
Was that Frank Stallone?
That's the same guy.
Yeah.
Shitty Frank
I thought
Stallone
looked like Shane Black, but it's not Shane Black because I looked at IMDb.
Yeah, I thought he looked like shitty Frank Stallone. It wasn't Frank Stallone either. So he's got a bomb in a bag, and they're going to blow up the mall. And it goes kind of awry, but the bomb still explodes.
The bomb explodes, but then Norris fucks up the mall 3 times as much by stopping it.
Yeah, the bomb
he drives his fucking truck
mega
right
disappointing.
through the front of the mall.
Like, it, knocked over...
He blew up part of Hallmark.
Yeah, knocked over a display stand. That's how big this bomb was. It was like...
It threw a guy into
anything.
Some greeting cards.
So their plan was to blow up the mall, but in no way, shape, or form did they have the ability to blow up the mall.
No.
So Norris drives through the fucking front of the goddamn thing at full speed, crashes his truck into his store, destroys it,
he goes to 4 stores,
and then backs up and starts driving through the mall to run these guys over that are in there shooting up the mall now.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure the lingerie store got the worst of it.
Now, the bad guys...
Yeah, and the lingerie store...
Yeah, the lingerie store get fucked up real bad. Now, the bad guys, shitty Frank Stallone, they hop in the Nissan.
Yeah.
That was on
car
display.
chase scene between 2 trucks in the mall.
Forget the beginning, the first sequence of the double... And I don't know if they're M11-9s or if they're mini Uzis or what they are, because there's so many different clones of the original MAC-10, but none of them are actually MAC-10s. You see the first of that and his gun suspenders.
Yeah, his gun suspenders. And the throwing out hot lead with essentially unlimited bullets. Because I counted, he only reloads one time in the movie.
You see him do it just he does have to reload bullets.
Once a month. After shooting all of everybody.
I will say that he's quite conservative with his round usage, though.
He does have a nice 3-round burst technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't just send bullets flying
whereas
everywhere.
Whereas the bad guys just send... They shoot up...
They it around like it's a hose.
Well, they shoot up that office, and there's nobody even in the fucking building. They're just shooting filing cabinets for no reason.
It's like they can't run without clenching their fists,
exactly.
Bullets!
I
just gotta point this
The other
fun
thing about that scene is that there is, again, a bunch of extras in that scene running through the office. There is guys behind the guys in front who are firing directly at the guys in front of them.
Yes.
But obviously they don't die because they're blanks. So just, what? Okay. So the mall happens. They get outside. They get a dumb hostage. It was just like, I would like to be a hostage.
Yeah, so the guys drive the Nissan that was on display out of the mall, and then two ladies are like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah.
Like, thanks for becoming a hostage.
You're bad. Oh no, dummy.
Yeah, it's the second most ridiculous hostage sequence I've seen behind the part in Rotor where he's got the hostage or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the hostage just kicks the shit out of him with karate. It's like, how did you get taken hostage in the fucking first place?
We should do an episode on Rotor.
We should do an episode on
But really,
Rotor.
that whole scene, though, after, the whole chase scene with the hostage, all I could think was, how is that girl staying on that truck?
She had to have, the actual
There's
stunt
one shot
lady.
that you can definitely tell it's a dude.
Yeah, well, where the car comes up and hits them from behind. Yeah. The stunt person had to have been strapped in somehow.
You're strapped on the door, and then there was the little roll, whatever the foot bar thing.
Yeah, the Nerf bar.
And then also they had to have him strapped in.
Yeah, that was a dangerous stunt.
That was a dangerous sequence.
Because the Mustang clips the Nissan in the ass end. And it's maybe the front of the car hits maybe 2 feet behind the stunt person, and they're doing even when they're not driving slow.
No.
I know how to make it look like you're going fast when you're shooting slow, but they were actually doing probably 35.
30, yeah. And even when they're not running into each other, the Nissan is just swerving
all over the
point
place.
that it's 5% away from just tipping, because those are not stable
No,
cars.
they're not. And that one was jacked up a little bit as well.
Yeah, that one, it was like, whoever was driving that was a good driver, because he was getting it right on tipping point, back and forth, over and over again, with somebody that would die if he did
not
tip
crushing that poor person. So they kill... No, that wasn't Frank Stallone. Shitty Frank Stallone. No, because the car blows up.
That's the end of it.
No way.
I
saw him later in the movie.
He
keeps shooting, and he can't stop. He's got the shotgun, and the guy's like, "Stop shooting!" That happens after
before. That was the police. That is the same guy.
I don't know.
Guys right then. Anyway,
okay. So those bad guys are dead, and
that's because they kill themselves because the guy was going to throw a grenade at Norris, but he drops it in the truck, and then they blow up.
I think Norris
ran into him. No, he was going to throw the grenade.
He was going to throw the grenade.
And then Norris runs the Mustang. He's the reporter's Mustang.
Up.
And they drop the grenade in the car. And then Norris, after they save the hostage lady and the reporter, just kind of park and watch it blow up. He somehow knew that there was a grenade, a live grenade in the car.
Yeah. So he knows everything. He's got his powers are stronger than He-Man's with the power of plot convenience. He's got the power of, I know everything that is going on in this movie, even though I have no ability at all to know what the heck anything's happening. But I know where everything's at and when it's going to happen and what's going on. So the mall happens, and then there's a new plan for the terrorists. And they just start doing these dumb things. The city's panicking, and they go to blow up a school bus of children?
No, they first infiltrate the National Guard before that, because there's a sequence.
Oh yeah, the
martial law lady shows up there as well. She just is barely part of the movie, but she's in all these shots. It's ridiculous.
She also has the power of knowing where everything is happening.
Half the stuff happens when she's there, and then the only stuff that doesn't happen around Norris happens around her.
Oh, I know what it was. Their next plan was to essentially
the church.
You blow up the church. So this is the turning point in this movie. As soon as Chuck Norris stops them at the mall, he stops them everywhere. None of their shit is now working. Yeah. Their plan is failing miserably because Chuck Norris is just everywhere.
Except for the fair.
Except for the fair. And he does say, for every one that I stop, 10 more go. There's 10 more that I can't stop or whatever.
I didn't catch that. But so they go to blow up the church full of people, and
which is one of the sweetest, most ridiculous things in any movie ever, where they try to blow it up and it's with a suitcase bomb, and it's not working. And then Norris is above them on the rooftop with their bomb that's that he's cut the wires to just enough that he can throw it down and then reattach it and blow them up.
He's like, try it now.
Yeah.
Click. Boom. Explodes them.
Really, that bomb would have only just blown up the church doors?
Yeah, it was also a disappointing sized bomb.
Yeah.
So that fucks up that plan. Then they have
the school bus.
Then they have the school bus because the people are sending their children out of Miami for their safety. And he, again, is nowhere near the school bus when you first see him. He's just driving someplace. The school bus is like
he was just
50
driving
cars
to the
in front of him
to grieve.
To grieve about that. And then he's like, well, I can't sit here anymore in this construction. Punches it, catches up to the school bus, and yanks the bomb off of it, and then explodes the bad guys. Because he also knows who the bad guys were, who have just driven off like super fast, faster than the school bus. It's impossible how he knows everything.
Oh, yeah.
Saves the children, goes to the fair, finds a exploded Ferris wheel, or carousel, and has the, oh no, I'm not good enough, thing. And then, the craziest fucking thing in this whole goddamn movie, and it's actually the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, is the bad guys go to the cops for some reason. I don't really know why. But to get to where the cops are at, they have to blow up a garage door. Mm-hmm. And the garage door explodes. Seriously, like part of the garage door travels like 30 feet and hits a goddamn guy.
It's a real guy in the shot. They do an over the shoulder of an explosion, and
he gets completely wiped out.
Clobbered.
I don't know if that guy is alive.
I hope he's alive.
I hope he's alive too, but he had to have been.
The other thing I was thinking,
messed up.
They could have done some forced perspective, and they could have blown up something very far away, and then there was a scheduled push where they threw a bunch of debris into him and made it look like.
But then there's also the desk falls back.
It looks like they just blow him up.
I think he got blown up. I think yes, in a good movie, that is how I would shoot that. Like, I want this man to get blown up. I'm going to shoot it this way. I don't think this movie is smart enough to have done that. I think that was just a whoops, too much TNT.
Good thing the camera was rolling.
Yeah, good thing the camera was rolling, because damn, that was sweet.
Yeah, did we get that? Because we only had one chance at it, because Bob's dead now.
Yeah, Bob is dead. We no longer have a stunt director, so... Lunch?
Yeah.
So, that was fucking insane. And that single piece is worth the whole movie, just because it's like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. It's so amazing. Somebody should just splice it out of the movie and put it on YouTube, because it's incredible. It's like, you want to see a guy get hit by a garage door that's traveling at 70 miles an hour? Here you go. And yes, I do. And I watched it twice. So they get the cops for some reason.
They get like the cop car. They're like armored cars, I think, is what they are.
Yeah, kind of.
It barely makes any sense, but they steal those, and then they go to invade because Norris at the fair hands the CIA guy the piece of paper for how the plan's going to work, which is to set up the trap, where he goes on TV and says, Rostov, it's time to die. When they interview him in the news, which is ridiculous.
Oh, he sets up the trap, so when he gets arrested... The whole thing is
Norris's plan. That's getting arrested.
He didn't actually get arrested. I did not make that connection.
It took me 5 times watching the movie to make that connection.
Huh. Yeah, see, it never breaks out like...
Because remember, right when he hands him the letter, I'm like, I'm still not sure how this works.
Yeah, what's the plan? So he gets purposely arrested. So that Rostov thinks he's out of commission?
So that Rostov knows where he is.
Oh, to hit him.
Because he knows that Rostov won't be able to sleep at night without killing him.
Right, he's got to kill Chuck.
And then Rostov brings in the entire mercenary invasion force. And that's when they steal the milk wagon, or the armored cars.
Are useless. Just the worst.
They storm the building that Norris is supposed to
shoot the file cabinets.
He actually is in the building.
He is in the building.
He's the only person.
He's the only person in the building, and he takes on the entire army, except for the guys out front, who are just shooting at helicopters, while the actual army is shooting them to death on the ground.
Yes.
Like
tanks and the whole thing.
The helicopters aren't actually killing you. The guys with the guns on the ground that are shooting you are probably who you should be shooting at if you want to stay alive, but they don't. They just keep shooting at the helicopters that are just minding their own business.
That's right, and this is about when I fell asleep.
So Jackie is now...
falling asleep during the most exciting part of a movie that's real hard to fall asleep to.
I thought, actually, the climax was a little anticlimactic. I was a little disappointed in the climax, to tell you the truth.
In terms of Well, in terms of scale, though, that was quite.
It was
for a cannon.
There was what? Probably 10 tanks. 10.
Yeah, there's 10 tanks.
What? Those aren't Shermans. They're.
They weren't Abrams either.
Oh, I thought that they were Abrams.
I think they might have been Shermans.
Huh. Well, they're big tanks.
They're big tanks,
and they have like 10 of them. They have like 6 helicopters. They have a bunch of ancillary military vehicles. You know what? The other thing I thought was crazy.
There was in one shot that I counted in one shot 3 helicopters. So
and
then you're in the air, so there's at least 4 helicopters being used.
There's those iron I-beams that get welded together. That
Dragon's teeth.
Yeah, dragon's teeth. There was like probably 10 dragon's teeth in the middle of the town. I was like, those are heavy. You have to have a crane to put them in.
Yeah.
That had to have been expensive to do that. And then on top of that, you've got seriously like, what do you think, like 300 or 400 extras?
Yeah, the amount of invasion,
and they're all holding guns, shooting
guns. They're shooting. There was in one shot like 30 people on screen ripping off hundreds and hundreds of.
Yeah, that was
blanks.
a lot of money thrown in that battle scene. And then Chuck is still inside.
Apparently, that whole movie only cost $12 million.
Huh.
In '85. And it made 17, which at that point is like a resounding success.
Maybe they hired just immigrants and paid them not very much money for being extras. Because it is in Miami.
Cannon Films, actually, the reason they went under is because they were misreporting.
Ooh.
So God knows how much it really
probably
cost.
Was like 40.
They actually sunk their debt into MGM, took money from MGM, and then bailed back to Israel at one point.
Nice. So Chuck is wiping out the rest of Rostov's force inside the building one by one.
Yeah.
He's hitting them with the Uzis, he's stealing their guns and blowing them up, and then kills a guy with a knife. Just one by one. There's no scene where he's just like spraying lead. He's just very calm and knife.
Yeah.
And kicks a bunch of people in the face, and then finally it's just him and Rostov.
And Rostov at this point deserves to die because he did shoot another person after the cocaine scene in the dick.
Yeah, he's a cock shooter.
He's a dick shooter. Like, who was the other guy that he shot in the dick? Was it the Cuban guy?
It was the guy that Norris stabbed in the hand.
Yeah, the Cuban guy that was banging the whole prostitute. He shoots him in the dick like 4 times.
Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't, like, shoot you in the dick a few times and then kill you. He kills you by putting enough holes in your dick that you're going to bleed out painfully.
He doesn't just shoot you in the dick. He pulls your pants open and then puts the gun in your pants and then shoots your dick off.
Yeah. And then just kind of fills up your crotch with hot lead and then leaves you.
You got underwear filled with lead.
That's the way he kills people.
Yeah, you're right. Rostov was just a bad guy.
He's the worst of bad guys.
He's a really bad guy, actually. Usually in shitty movies, the bad guy's just kind of... he doesn't make any sense. He just wants to blow everything up, and families, and Cubans, and wieners, and armadillos. He's just a terrible man. So, just Norris and Rostov... And
start with a fist fight.
Norris kicks the shit out of him. Like, Rostov doesn't even have a chance. Doesn't get in a punch.
Where he gets, like, the second time he kicks him over a cubicle, because he kicks him over 2 cubicles.
Yeah.
He's out for a little bit. And when his head comes up, like, I think he really let somebody slap him around a little bit, because his face was red and his eyes were red. Like,
yeah.
He looked like he'd had enough on the screen. I was like, oh yeah, that's convincing.
Let's wrap this up. Somebody hand me a grenade launcher. So he gets his grenade launcher.
That's just somewhere.
Meanwhile, Chuck also realizes, I need a grenade launcher. If he's got a grenade launcher, I should have a grenade launcher.
That's like the thing, is that Rostov gets the grenade launcher, starts wandering the halls of this office building.
Looking for Chuck. Chuck shows up behind him again.
With a grenade
Chuck
launcher.
Is total Batman in this movie. He can sneak up on you at any location.
He knows all your moves.
He can disappear on screen if you take your eyes off of him for just a second. He does that like 3 times. He's seriously Batman in this movie. But, so Rostov spins around to shoot Chuck, but Chuck's already ready, which is stupid.
And he hip shots him with the
rocket launcher. So Rostov has already aimed by the time that Chuck Norris even starts aiming. Yet Chuck still beats him to blowing Rostov up, and it gets exploded. Like, Rostov, all he had to do was pull the trigger. But he's like,
take him with you.
Oh, no, doesn't. He
gets blown up.
He gets just blowed up. It doesn't fire at all. Chuck wins the day. Credits.
Credits, yeah, they just shot a shot of him. He's got a cut on his head. He looks like he's moderately annoyed, and the movie's over.
Yeah, credits. The end. So, takeaways?
Armadillos rock.
Armadillos are cool. That is definitely a takeaway. I am very curious about owning an armadillo.
You having only seen Lone Wolf McQuade and this Invasion USA will notice the theme that Chuck Norris is into sweet trucks.
He is. I almost thought that it was the same truck.
He has
Chevy.
a certain amount of control.
The other one was also a Chevy.
No, it wasn't. The other one is a Dodge Ram Charger.
Oh, it was a Dodge Ram.
And wearing denim with his shirt
open.
Sweet denim all the way with his shirt open. Like, have you seen this hairiness?
Yeah. But he doesn't really have a hairy chest.
He has a hairy gut and everything, dude. It's like Mr. Hair.
He's very hairy.
I didn't notice that in this movie.
He's like, I'm tan, I put some baby oil on my hair, and I got my shirt hanging halfway open with a huge belt buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sexy arrest is ridiculous. That they would arrest him, and then they put him in these overly long handcuffs that, like, so he's...
Super long handcuffs.
Like, it's the most comfortable arrest ever, and that he's left his shirt open for the ladies.
Yeah. I'm on TV. I gotta make sure all the ladies get the vibe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the trucks... He's throwing the vibe, and what else?
Well, I like the way that he talked to the reporter all the time. Like obviously I should leave before you get angry. When she's already screaming at him.
Yeah,
just there's so many one-liners in it.
One-liners. This does set up what Chuck Norris should be in every single movie.
And sadly, this is one of the last of his sort of golden era of Chuck Norris. There's not very many after this.
It doesn't
one.
set it up. It concludes it very nicely then. I thought this was an early Chuck Norris movie. So
no, the first one's Breaker, but he had done a couple MGMs before this, so I think this is probably like his 9th movie. Something like that. I should have looked that up, but
yeah
there's a few more big Hollywood
it's 1985,
ones that come after, but once 90 hits, Norris is starting to get into the direct-to-video market.
Right.
Or really, at that point, he's getting he's 55 and he kind of just doesn't care.
Right, yeah. I'll work today. So, recommend? Would you recommend it, Jackie?
I recommend it.
I recommend it.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's not Hall of Fame material. I wouldn't put it on any of my favorite lists. And I don't think... I think I could do with it maybe once every 5 to 10 years.
I think I watch it about every 2 years.
Really?
It's a 2-year.
I think you like it more than I did. I was okay.
The thing is that Norris is sort of like...
If you like Norris, it's a Norris is Captain Kick-Ass.
Yeah, I liked it better than Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah, which is good. Those are two of the best. But yeah, once you kind of once you've seen all the Norris movies and you kind of know what you're going to get, it's one of the more entertaining. It's not one of the better movies. I think my favorite
when it's entertaining, but some parts I was just bored with it. I was like, fucking get this thing going.
That's why I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was taking too long sometimes to get to the
it's either
0 to 11 action.
Yeah. It's not moving at all or it's exploding in the movie. And then
just so many shots of people just shooting guns. Just so many shots of I am shooting a gun. I eventually get tired of gun shooting if nothing's happening. If there's not holy shit, shooting a guy in the dick and throwing a lady out the window. I didn't see that coming. But if it's just guys shooting at each other, I get kind of bored with that. So
if it's not,
you gotta have a car jumping while people are shooting at each other. Which there is that Nissan took a jump in that movie.
The
Mustang also took a jump.
Took a solid jump.
That was pretty cool.
The Nissan took a jump with a stunt person on the side of it.
Yeah, with a stunt person attached to the side of it that was driving all crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, the stunts are bananas.
Stunts are bananas. I do recommend it. I think that it's definitely worth viewing. I don't think I like Chuck Norris. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to be sorry. Most people don't.
Yeah,
I do. I've been a fan since I was a kid.
Yeah, I like Chuck Norris.
He's no Stallone. It's just
the thing with Norris is
Schwarz, and I just am like.
Well, they have expression. The thing about Chuck Norris is that he is so soft spoken. in contrast to beating the living shit out of people. And there's an allure to that.
I just don't like the way he looks. No offense, Chuck, but he just seems like a yacht rocker. He just looks like a yacht rocker. And
that's why I like the tight Norris, that he just has a normal haircut and a mustache. I think that, like, Good Guys Wear Black, Force Vengeance, Eye for an Eye, I believe The Octagon, Missing in Action. Missing in Action will have to do for this.
I like Chuck Norris really enough to continue watching Chuck Norris movies, but I just am not like, oh god, Chuck Norris movies are so awesome. I just, I like my guys to be bald and massive on steroids in action movies and barely able to speak English. I don't know why, but anyways,
really, Statham is sort of like the second coming of Norris. He does the same.
He's bigger than Norris. But he does do the same thing, except for his movies are mega ridiculous compared to Chuck Norris's. They're like kind of portrayed to be
Chuck Norris
believable.
Movies. The Octagon is ridiculous.
I don't know. We'll get to that. Jackie?
I'm good.
Sam?
Oh, I was going to talk about the, because we're like, what are the motivations? Glenn Globus are Israeli. And they always wanted to make these action movies about terrorism, but the hardline American politics is that drugs are bad. So that's why there's drugs mixed in with terrorism, and none of it makes sense.
Huh. Well, good for them. I guess they got to say what they wanted to say.
They did with Delta Force, not with that one.
Huh.
Now I'm done.
Well, and on that bombshell, don't get herpes. It stinks.